The scene of Prince Akeem descending from the lavish kingdom of Zamunda to find true love in Queens is seared into the memories of millions of America-loving fans. But behind the glittering lights, many of the show's stars died in shockingly sudden circumstances, carrying dark secrets you wouldn't believe. In this video, we look back at the journeys of those who died honoring their legacy and the unforgettable marks they left on the silver screen. James Earl Jones as King Jaffe. Joffer. James Earl Jones was born on January 17, 1931 in Mississippi. At 57, he played King Jaffe Joffer in the comedy Coming to America, 1988, the revered king of Zamunda, a figure both regal and warm and a global cultural icon thanks to his unmistakable deep resonant voice. But behind the glory lay a life filled with dark chapters abandoned by his parents. As a child, he grew up silent because of a severe stutter. James's childhood in Michigan, where he lived with his grandparents, was filled with shame, racism, and intense loneliness. It wasn't until a high school teacher discovered his literary talent and powerful reading voice that James began to regain his ability to speak, literally. The voice that had silenced him as a child became the key to his greatness. From Darth Vader in Star Wars and Mufasa in The Lion King to dozens of classic Broadway roles, James Earl Jones redefined what it meant to have a powerful voice. But his personal life was not smooth. His first marriage ended in silence, and his second wife, actress Cecilia Hart, died of cancer in 2016. Jones lived quietly in his later years, battling type 2 diabetes and respiratory complications, though he rarely spoke about them in public. On September 9, 2024, James Earl Jones passed away peacefully at his home in Pawling, New York, at the age of 93. He passed away surrounded by his family. Vice President Kamala Harris called him a man who moved America forward through art. At the time of his death, James Earl Jones had an estimated net worth of $40 million, a fitting reward for more than 60 years of dedication to the arts. John Amos as Cleo McDowell. John Allen Amos Jr. was born on December 27, 1939 in Newark, New Jersey. At the age of 48, he played Cleo McDowell in Coming to America. He is an ambitious fast food restaurant owner who is trying to take McDowell's over McDonald's. With a performance that was both sarcastic and heartwarming, Amos gave audiences a memorable portrayal of a loving but down-to-earth, humorous, and insightful father. Amos's career spanned dozens of roles, from the adult Kunta Kinte in Roots to Major Grant in Die Hard 2, and countless guest appearances on The West Wing, The District, 2.5, Men, and even Netflix's The Ranch. In addition to acting, he was a playwright, singer, television host, and a respected icon in African-American television for decades. But his final years were marred by family tragedy. In 2023, his daughter Shannon Amos publicly accused her brother of isolating, controlling, and abusing their elderly father. The case led to an investigation by Colorado state authorities and left a shocked and heartbroken public, watching a man once considered America's father embroiled in a bitter legal battle with his own children. On August 21, 2024, John Amos died of congestive heart failure in California. He was 84. His death was not immediately announced. Even his daughter did not know about his passing until nearly 2 weeks later, when the news spread. Through the media, John Amos' net worth is estimated at $3 million, a testament to a solid and enduring career. Madge Sinclair as Aeolian Queen. Madge Dorita Sinclair was born on April 28, 1938 in Kingston, Jamaica. At age 50, she played the Aeolian Queen in the classic comedy Coming to America, 1988, opposite James Earl Jones. Her character, a graceful and strong royal wife, became a symbol of the perfect combination of power and maternal compassion. But behind that regal image was a life of hardship. Sinclair went through a divorce from her first husband, and struggled to raise her two sons in the early years of her career. She remarried in 1982 and remained with her second husband until his death. During those difficult years, she struggled to make ends meet while fighting for stage opportunities. After a series of supporting roles, she finally shined in Roots' 1977 Trapper, John M.D., 1009, 181,986, and won an Emmy for her role in Gabriel's Fire, 1991. Madge. Sinclair began battling leukemia in 1982, but she never stopped working. She went on to voice Sarabi Simba's mother in The Lion King, 1994, her final film role before her death. Madge died on December 21, 1995 at the age of 57 after a 13-year battle with leukemia. Her estimated net worth was between $1 and $2 million. She died peacefully, and her ashes were scattered in her native Jamaica. In 2000, the Jamaican government posthumously awarded her the Medal of Honor, Commander Class, in recognition of her outstanding contributions to the performing arts. Arsenio Hall as Semmi. Arsenio Hall was born on February 12, 1956, in Cleveland, Ohio, in 1009. 188 at the age of 32, he became part of the cinematic legend when he played Semmi, the loyal but mischievous companion of Prince Akeem in the film Coming to America. Hall's charm and comedic improvisation made Semmi unforgettable. But Arsenio Hall's life took a heartbreaking turn. After the Arsenio Hall Show, his eponymous talk show was canceled in 1994. Hall all but disappeared from the entertainment world. Once greeted with thunderous cheers, "Woof, woof, woof," from fans, he abruptly withdrew from public life despite being hailed as the voice of young black Americans on late-night television. By his own account, Hall chose to step back to raise his only son, born in 1998, after years of pressure from the media industry competition and the isolating effects of fame. For years, rumors circulated that he was blacklisted for hosting controversial guests, including LGBTQ voices and black artists who openly discussed HIV AIDS in the community hall. Finally made a surprise comeback in 2012, winning Celebrity Apprentice and raising $250,000 for the Magic Johnson Foundation, a charity he has held dear since his friend Magic Johnson went public with his HIV status. In 2021, Hall returned to the big screen with Eddie Murphy in Coming to America, once again bringing Semmi to life with infectious humor. As of 2025, Arsenio Hall is 69 years old, lives quietly, and rarely appears in public. While no longer a late-night icon, he is still revered as a pioneer, paving the way for black hosts like Steve Harvey and Trevor Noah. Ellen Holly as New Yorker. Ellen, Virginia. Holly was born on January 16, 1931 in New York City, at the age of 54. She appeared in the hit comedy Coming to America, 1988, as a New Yorker, bringing sharp wit, charm, and a distinctive presence to the bustling city scene. But behind that brief appearance was a brilliant and conflicted journey of a black woman breaking barriers to assert herself. Ellen Holly was the first black actress to star in a daytime drama in the United States, playing Carla Gray on One Life to Live in 1968. In the show, when Carla kissed a white doctor on screen, ABC's switchboard was flooded with complaints from viewers who thought they were witnessing a racist scandal. Then the tables turned. Carla was black, and so was Ellen Holly. But success did not erase the hardships she had endured. Ellen Holly never married, had no children, and was traumatized by being dropped from the role that had made her famous in 1985. In her memoir, she describes being dropped by new producers as a cold, raw wound that never fully healed. Holly later retired from the spotlight, becoming a librarian in New York, living a quiet life, reading and writing. On December 6, 2023, Ellen Holly passed away at Calvary Hospital in the Bronx. She was 92 years old. After a long battle with illness, she passed away alone without a husband or children. But her legacy shines brighter than ever. Her net worth at the time of her death was estimated at $1 million. Donna Ameche as Mortimer Duke. Donna Ameche, born Dominic Felix Ameche, was born on May 31, 1908, in Kenosha, Wisconsin. At age 80, he made a surprise appearance in Coming to America, 1988, as Mortimer Duke, a witty, unexpected cameo reprising his famous role from Trading Places 1983. His brief screen time brought cheers from the audience. It was a rare cinematic collaboration between two of Eddie Murphy's favorite films. But behind those twinkling eyes lay a life of ups and downs. Donna Ameche was a Hollywood star in the 1930s and 1940s, so famous that his name became slang for telephone thanks to his convincing portrayal of Alexander Graham Bell. But over time, the spotlight faded. In the 1960s and 1970s, he largely disappeared from the big screen, relegated to supporting roles on television and obscure stage plays. More than 30 years later, director John Landis brought him back as the villain in Trading Places 1983, role that earned him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in Cocoon 1986. His personal life had its own complications. Although he had been married to Honoré Prendergast since 1932, they had been estranged for several years before her death in 1986, and he did not attend her funeral. Donna Ameche had 6 children who lived with him in his later years. On December 6, 1993, Donna Ameche died at the age of 85 at his son's home in Scottsdale, Arizona, of prostate cancer. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $10 million, largely from his early heyday at Fox, his later career, and entertainment royalties. Ralph Bellamy as Randolph Duke. Ralph Bellamy was born on June 17, 1904 in Chicago. At age 84, he returned to the screen as Randolph Duke in Coming to America, 1988, a brief but meaningful cameo in which he and Donna Ameche reprised their roles as the Duke brothers in Trading Places, 1983. The moment was both a laugh-out-loud laugh and a heartfelt tribute to two screen veterans. Bellamy's career began at the age of 15 when he ran away from home to join a traveling theater troupe and eventually became a Hollywood star. In the 1930s and 1940s, he was known for his roles as the good-natured but never-to-Beth-a-girl type, most famously as the bumbling fiancé in 1937's The Awful Truth, for which he was nominated for an Oscar by the 1950s. His film career had stalled, and he moved to Broadway, where he found renewed recognition for his portrayal of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in Sunrise at Campobello, winning the Tony Award for Best Actor in 1957. His personal life was tumultuous. Bellamy married 4 times, and it was only with his last wife, Alice Murphy, that he found lasting peace for the rest of his life. On November 29, 1991, he died at the age of 87 in California from chronic lung disease. At the time of his death, Ralph Bellamy's net worth was estimated at $5 million. His passing marks the end of a long, dignified, and elegant chapter in the history of American cinema. Eddie Murphy as Prince Akeem Jaffer. Eddie Murphy, whose full name is Edward Regan. Murphy was born on April 3, 1961 in Brooklyn, New York in 1988. At the age of 27, Murphy took on the role of Prince Akeem Jaffer in the play Coming to America, a role that would shape his career. Akeem, the prince of the fictional kingdom of Zamunda, rejects an arranged marriage and travels to America in search of true love. a comedy with a profound message about freedom and personal choice. After the huge success of Coming to America, Murphy dominated the box office, with blockbusters like Beverly Hills Cop, The Nutty Professor, and Shrek. His sharp comedic talent and charisma made him a multi-million-dollar star. But beneath the glitz and glamour lies a dark undercurrent. His father, a police officer and amateur comedian, was brutally murdered when Eddie was 8. His unhappy childhood and years in an orphanage helped shape the unique tone of his work. Murphy's career has been plagued by controversy. In the early 1990s, he was heavily criticized for homophobic jokes in his act, sparking a backlash from the LGBTQ community. Although he later apologized, the stigma remained. In 1997, Murphy made headlines when he was caught driving a transgender prostitute, a media storm that damaged his clean public image. In his personal life, Murphy has 10 children with several women. His 13-year marriage to model Nicole Mitchell ended in a messy divorce, which was followed by numerous legal disputes. In 2006, former Spice Girls member Melanie Brown gave birth and claimed Murphy was the father. He initially denied it, but a DNA test later confirmed it, sparking a major celebrity scandal. Despite being considered out of fashion in the 2000s, Murphy made a stunning comeback with a Golden Globe win and an Oscar nomination for his role in Dreamgirls 2006. As of 2025, Eddie Murphy is 63 years old and remains one of the most influential black stars in entertainment history. He is survived by his wife, Australian model Paige Butcher, and 2 young children. His estimated net worth is around $200 million, a testament to his resilience, innovation, and survival in the harshest Hollywood spotlight. Calvin Lockhart as Colonel Izzy. Calvin Lockhart, born Burt McCloskey Cooper, was born on October 18, 1934, in Nassau, Bahamas. In 1988, at the age of 54, he appeared in Coming to America as Colonel Izzy, an ambitious father determined to arrange a political marriage for his daughter to connect with the royal family of Zamunda. Lockhart created a memorable supporting character that left a lasting impression on audiences. To get this role, Calvin Lockhart had to leave the Bahamas for New York. At the age of 18, pursuing his dream of becoming an actor, with no money and no backing, he worked as a taxi driver and opened a carpentry shop in Queens to make ends meet while auditioning for The Dark Knight Rises. But Hollywood in the 1960s was not welcoming to black actors. Lockhart traveled to Italy, West Germany, and then England in search of opportunities. It was in Europe that he finally found the stepping stone. That would bring him back to the United States with leading roles in Cotton Comes to Harlem, 1970, and Let's Do It Again, 1975. In his personal life, he was married 3 times and had 2 sons. His last wife, Jennifer Miles, married him in 2006, just a year before his death. It was his son, Julian, who walked his mother down the aisle in that belated but emotional wedding on March 29. 2007, Calvin Lockhart died in Nassau from complications from a stroke. He was 72. His sudden death shocked fans just a few months. Earlier, he had appeared in his last film, Rain, which was shot in his native Bahamas. At the time of his death, Calvin Lockhart's net worth was estimated at $1 million, a modest figure given the talent and dedication he put into his work. Louis Anderson as Maurice Louis Perry. Anderson was born on March 24, 1953, in St. Paul, Minnesota. In 1988, at the age of 35, he appeared in Coming to America as Maurice, a cheerful fast food worker with big dreams of being promoted to manager. Louis brought a special energy, cheerful, friendly, and full of sincerity. But behind that laughter was a life full of silent pain. Louis was the 10th child in a family of 16, 5 of whom died at birth. He grew up in poverty with an alcoholic and abusive father, a tumultuous childhood that has shaped his diverse career as the host of Family, Feud creator of the animated series Life with Louis. and most notably his role as Christine in the 2016 Emmy-winning film Baskets. Even at the height of his career, Lewis carried personal scars. He faced a blackmail scandal in the 1990s when someone threatened to reveal intimate details of his life to protect his clean image as a family. Entertainer, he paid more than $100,000 in hush money before contacting the FBI. The incident ended in a high-speed chase and a prison sentence for the extortionist, but Lewis never truly escaped the fear it left behind. In his later years, Lewis quietly battled leukemia, a diagnosis he kept private since the early 2000s. On January 21, 2022, he died of complications from the disease in Las Vegas. He was 68. The public had learned just 3 days earlier that he had been hospitalized. At the time of his death, Lewis Anderson's net worth was estimated at $10 million. Much of it accumulated from his decades-long career performing and entertaining in Las Vegas.